I never thought the wide-open skies of Montana could feel so suffocating. My name is Emily Hayes, and at 32, I'd built a life far from the shadows of my family's ranch in Billings. But there I was, back in the kitchen of our old homestead, the one with the creaky wooden floors and the view of endless golden fields stretching toward the Rockies. The morning sun poured through the windows, casting long rays that danced with dust motes, but it couldn't chase away the chill in the air. My mother, Susan, stood by the sink, her hands wrapped around a chipped mug of black coffee, her eyes pleading as she gripped my arm. "Emily, please," she whispered, her voice cracking like dry earth under boots. "Don't stir up trouble at Lily's wedding. She's your sister. Let this be her day." Sister. The word hung between us like a barbed wire fence. Lily wasn't blood, but she'd grown up under the same roof after Mom married Jack Thompson, the man who'd turned our home into a battlefield. I tugged my denim jacket sleeve down, hiding the faint yellow bruise on my wrist, a reminder from last week's discussion, when Jack's temper flared over nothing. His hands, calloused from years wrangling cattle and fixing fences, could grip like a vice. I'd learned that early, back when I was a teenager hiding in the hayloft, heart pounding as his belt buckle rasped free. But I wasn't that scared girl anymore. I'd left for college in Bozeman, then landed a job in compliance at Rocky Mountain Diagnostics in Missoula, sniffing out fraud in the wild world of biotech expansions. Numbers don't lie, and neither do I, not anymore. My phone buzzed on the counter, a venomous rattle. I glanced at the screen. "Jack, keep your mouth shut, or you'll regret it." I didn't flinch. Instead, I screenshotted it, filed it away in my encrypted folder labeled JT Evidence, time-stamped and backed up to a cloud he'd never touch. Inside me, there were two spaces now. One was the old fear closet, dark and locked tight, where I'd huddled for years. The other was my command center, lit by logic and lined with timelines, bank records, and legal notes. That room had been growing for 18 months, ever since I started piecing together the cracks in our family facade. "I'm not here to ruin anything, Mom," I said evenly, pouring fresh coffee grounds into the old percolator. The machine gurgled to life, a steady hum against the silence. "I'm here for the truth," she sighed, her shoulders slumping like she'd carried the weight of the Beartooth Mountains too long. Jack had always been the provider, the successful ranch consultant who'd expanded his business into security for big AG firms. But generosity came with strings, and I'd felt them tighten around my neck for too long. At work, Rocky Mountain Diagnostics was buzzing with our frontier project, new labs sprouting across the West, from Idaho to Wyoming. Millions in play, and where there's cash, there's always someone skimming. The invoices hit my desk like a dust storm. Thompson Secure Solutions, Jack's company. My stomach twisted. They were for enhanced biosecurity systems, cameras, fencing, even signal jammers for remote sites. But the numbers screamed foul. Markups at 250% over market. Duplicate charges for risk assessments with the same typo copied across forms. Amateur hour, but bold, like Jack, who figured no one would question the big man. An email pinged from our CFO, Brian Lowe, approved Thompson batch ASAP. Vendor pre-vetted for Frontier.
No dilas.
Pre-vetted? That's code for look away. I dug deeper, running their EIN through databases. Thompson's Secure shared a PO box with Big Sky celebrations, an event planning outfit. Not security, weddings. Their site boasted ranch-style nuptials, fairy lights in barns, and their top partner, Red Rock Ranch, where Lily's wedding was set in 4 days. The links formed a chain, Jack's firm billing us fraudulently, funneling cash to the event company for his daughter's big day. Rage simmered, but I channeled it into action. I opened an internal ticket, potential kickback scheme. Vendor Thompson Secure Solutions linked to personal event funding. Recommend payment freeze and audit. It went live. Then, bam, blocked by Lowe. He was in on it. That night, Mom called, her voice thin over the line. Jack's covering everything for Lily, the venue, catering, all of it. He's just trying to make it special. I heard the unspoken. His money buys our peace. I get it, I replied, but my mind was racing. My algorithm flagged a transfer, Thompson Secure to Big Sky. Memo, venue bundle. RMD, discount. 9 minutes later, Lowe approved more invoices. It was a bribe, plain as a prairie fire. I printed it all, the whir of the machine steadying my nerves. No more hiding. This was my ground now. The next morning, the Montana sun beat down on the ranch as I drove to Red Rock, ostensibly to help with setup. But my real purpose burned hotter than the asphalt. Lily flitted around the barn, directing florists with her perfect smile, oblivious or willfully blind to the rot funding her dream. Emily, come see the sparklers. We're doing a tunnel exit, she gushed, hugging me like we were close. I forced a nod, my eyes scanning the AV setup. There it was, a sleek black box labeled Thompson Secure Signal Suppressor, serial number matching one lost from our Frontier inventory. Stolen goods. Right here. Back in Missoula.
I Meteo Ruish.
Our company's private investigator. In a quiet coffee shop off Higgins Avenue. Theo was ex-FBI. All sharp eyes and no nonsense, with a Stetson that screamed Western roots. This is solid, he said, reviewing my files over black coffee. But we need chain of custody. Get me access at the wedding. I'll plant a tracker on that suppressor. Legally, we were treading carefully. Fraud. Embezzlement. Potential RICO, if it went deeper. I nodded, my heart a steady drum. It's not just business.
Tay.
It's personal. Jack cornered me that afternoon in the barn, his shadow looming like a thunderhead. Stay out of my way. Girl, he growled, his breath hot with whiskey. Or that bruise won't be the last. I met his gaze, unflinching. Threats won't save you this time, he laughed, a bark that echoed off the rafters. But I saw the flicker, doubt. Inside, turmoil churned, memories of nights hiding under blankets. Mom's hushed pleas for peace. Why had she stayed? Love? Fear? I pushed it down, focusing on the plan. Humane, I reminded myself. Exposure, not destruction. Maybe truth could heal, not just wound. Wedding Eve brought rehearsals under string lights, the air thick with barbecue smoke and laughter. Mom pulled me aside by the corral, her eyes rimmed red. Emily, whatever you're thinking, stop. Jack's changed. He's providing for us. Changed? The word twisted like a knife. Has he, Mom? Or are we just better at pretending? She turned away, but I saw the crack in her armor, the weight of years unspoken. That night, alone in my old room, I reviewed everything. Emails, transfers, even Jack's old police reports dismissed domestic calls from our ranch days. Legal clarity hit. This wasn't vigilante justice. I'd loop in the sheriff's office post-exposure. Ensure arrest stuck. But the ending? I rewrote it in my mind. Not ruin, but reckoning. A chance for apology. For Mom to see. For Lily to understand. The fear room creaked open. Whispers of doubt. What if it breaks us forever? But the command center glowed brighter. Logic overriding. Truth freeze. Dawn broke clear. Wedding day humming with activity. I slipped Theo in as a guest, watching him wire the suppressor discreetly. Jack's toast at brunch was all charm. To Lily, my pride, may your life be as bountiful as these Montana plains. Hypocrite. My phone buzzed. Another threat. One wrong move. Screenshot. Evidence mounting. As guests arrived, I felt the storm build. Lily in her white gown, radiant under the big sky. Mom beaming, fragile.
Jack.
Suit sharp, eyes scanning like a hawk. I took my seat, heart pounding not with fear, but resolve. The ceremony flowed, vows, rings,
Quiche.
then reception, toasts, dances. My moment neared. Inside, emotions swelled. Anger at Jack's abuse. Sorrow for Mom's blindness. Pity for Lily's illusion. This exposure would hurt. But hiding hurt more. Humane meant facing it together. When the sparkler tunnel lit, a shimmering path under stars, I stepped forward. Microphone in hand, voice steady. Before we send them off, a word. The crowd hushed. I signaled Theo. The screen flickered to life. Invoices scrolling. This wedding? Funded by fraud from my company. Gasps rippled. Jack's face paled. Emily.
No.
Mom cried. But I continued, voice cracking with raw pain. Jack. Your schemes end here. The barn fell silent. The crackle of sparklers the only sound, like distant gunfire on the plains. Faces turned. A sea of confusion under the warm glow of Edison bulbs. Lily clutched her bouquet, her veil fluttering in the breeze like a white flag of surrender. What is this? She whispered, eyes darting to Jack. He stood rigid, fists clenched, the charming rancher mask cracking. Turn that off, he barked. But his voice wavered, betraying the bully beneath. I held the mic tighter, my wrist throbbing faintly, a ghost pain from old wounds. Thompson Secure Build Rocky Mountain Diagnostics millions for ghost equipment, I said. My words measured. Legal terms clear as a court transcript. Overcharges, duplicates, funneled here. To Big Sky celebrations for this venue. The screen showed the transfer memo. RMD bundle discount. That's embezzlement.
Jack.
Wire fraud under federal law. Guests murmured. Phones emerging like weapons. Theo stepped forward, badge flashing subtly. We've preserved evidence. Serial on that suppressor matches stolen inventory. Mom rushed the stage, her champagne dress swishing like whispers of regret. Emily.
Stop.
This is family. Her hand grabbed mine. Nails digging, echoing years of desperate grips to hold us together. Tears streamed down her face. And, in that moment, my resolve faltered. The command center dimmed, emotions flooded, love for her. The woman who'd bandaged my knees after falls. Who'd whispered bedtime stories of strong cowgirls. But she'd chosen silence, enabling the monster. Family doesn't hide abuse. Mom, I said softly, voice breaking. Not bruises, not threats, not this. Jack lunged toward the AV booth, but Theo intercepted. A calm pivot that pinned his arm. Easy, Mr.
Thompson. Shérif est en route.
Jack's roar echoed. You bitch. You'll pay. But it was hollow. The threat of a cornered coyote. Lily sobbed, collapsing into her groom's arms. Dad, is this true? Her voice, small and shattered, pierced me deeper than any belt. She wasn't complicit, just blind, like I'd been once. Pity surged, hot and aching. She'd idolized him. The doting father funding her dreams.
Now.
Those dreams crumbled like dry Montana soil. The sparkler light danced on faces, illuminating shock, sympathy, horror. A guest whispered, "Call the cops." But I waved them off. Wait, this wasn't just exposure. I wanted redemption. Turning to Jack, I lowered the mic. Confess. For them. His eyes met mine, rage. Then fear. Then something broken. Memories assaulted me. His belt's hiss. My muffled cries. Mom's averted gaze.
But now.
Vulnerability flickered. I did it for Lily, he muttered. Shoulders slumping. Business was tanking. Needed the cash. Mom gasped, hand to mouth. Jack. He looked at her.
Defeated.
Susan. I never meant.
Lies.
But the crack was there. Emotions boiled inside me. Fury at his excuses. Grief for the family we'd lost. A spark of hope. That's not enough, I said, tears blurring my vision. Apologize. To all of us. The barn held its breath. Jack's voice cracked. I'm sorry. For the money. For everything. It wasn't perfect. But it was a start, humane.
Raw.
Sheriff Harlan arrived then. Boots thudding on wood. Hat shadowing his stern face. Mr. Thompson. Mr. Low, we have warrants.
Low.
Pale in the corner. Surrendered his phone. Handcuffs clicked. A sound sharper than any sparkler pop. Jack didn't resist. His head bowed as deputies led him out. Lily wailed. Daddy rushing after. Her gown trailing dust. Mom followed. A ghost in the chaos. Pausing to look back at me. Eyes full of pain, but also dawning clarity. Alone on stage. I dropped the mic. The clatter echoing my shattered heart. Guests dispersed. Whispers like wind through sagebrush. Theo clapped my shoulder. You did good. Legal teams got this restitution. Maybe probation if he cooperates. But victory felt hollow. Emotions crashed. Relief.
Sorrow.
A deep ache for what could have been. Had I destroyed or saved us? The night air cooled my tears as I stepped into the dark fields. Stars overhead vast and unforgiving. The aftermath hit like a Montana blizzard, cold, relentless, burying everything in white silence. Sheriff Harlan's cruiser lights flashed blue and red against the barn, turning celebration into crime scene. Jack sat in the back, head down, a fallen king of the range. Low beside him, muttering about lawyers. As they drove off, dust kicking up under tires, Lily collapsed on the hay-strewn floor, her groom holding her as sobs racked her body. How could he, she keened, mascara streaking like war paint. I knelt beside her, hand tentative on her shoulder. He hid it from all of us, but her eyes flashed accusation. You knew. You ruined my day. Guilt stabbed deeper than any physical blow. Emotion surged, a torrent I'd damned for years. Regret for her pain, anger at her denial, profound sadness for the sister bond we'd never forged. I had to, I whispered, voice thick. For the truth. For us. Mom hovered nearby, wringing her hands, her face a map of anguish. Emily. What now? Her question hung, heavy as storm clouds. I pulled her into a hug, feeling her tremble. We heal.
Mom. Together.
The next days blurred in Missoula. Legal wheels turned. Indictments for fraud, embezzlement, Jack facing 5 to 10 years. Low similar. But I pushed for leniency, restitution deals, counseling mandates, humane justice, not vengeance. Theo updated me over diner coffee. Jack's cooperating. Admitting the abuse too in therapy sessions. My heart twisted validation, but laced with pity. Had his rage stemmed from his own demons? Ranch life hardships? Failed dreams? Depth emerged. He wasn't just monster, but broken man. Home visits gutted me. Mom's kitchen felt emptier. The percolators hum a lonely echo. I should have left, she confessed one night, tears flowing. But I loved him. Feared alone. Emotions overwhelmed, forgiveness budding amid hurt, our shared wounds binding us. You protected us best you could, I said, holding her. Lily called, voice raw. I hate what he did. But I miss Dad. We met at a Billings cafe. Awkward at first. Why expose it there, she asked. To force change, I replied. Tears came. Hers and mine a catharsis, as sisters finally seeing each other. Jack's plea hearing loomed. In court, under fluorescent lights, he stood shackled, eyes meeting mine. Emily, he rasped during recess.
I
regret everything. The bruises, the threats. Was wrong. His voice broke. Genuine remorse cracking through. Emotions peaked, hatred melting into complex sorrow. A lesson crystallizing, truth hurts, but buries seeds of growth. Prove it, I said softly. Change. He nodded. Tears falling. Probation granted. Restitution to company. Mandatory therapy. No contact till earned. Humane end, no prison bars. But accountability. Mom visited him.
Tentative bridge forming.
Lily postponed honeymoon, focusing on family counseling.
Me?
I returned to work. Promotions whispers, but inner peace louder. Evenings on the porch. Watching sunsets paint the Rockies. Emotions deepened. Gratitude for strength. Hope for renewal. The fear room shrank. Command center evolved into sanctuary. Lesson light but profound. Revenge destroys. Truth redeems. Months passed like seasons on the plains, harsh winters yielding to vibrant springs. Jack's restitution checks arrived steadily. Rocky Mountain Diagnostics recovering funds. My role pivotal in reforms. But the real transformation brewed in quieter moments. Family dinners resumed. Tentative at first. In Mom's kitchen under that fixed fluorescent light, no more flicker. A metaphor for stability. Jack joined via video from his supervised apartment. His face softer. Therapy etching humility. I'm working on it, he'd say. Voice earnest. Emotions intensified. Wary trust blooming. Old wounds scarring over with time's gentle hand. Lily and I bonded over hikes in the Beartooths. Her laughter echoing off rocks as we shared buried pains. I saw the bruises back then, she admitted once. Eyes glistening. Scared to speak. Tears flowed. A river of release. Sorrow for lost years. Joy in newfound kinship. We're free now, I whispered, hugging her tight. Mom flourished, joining support groups. Her pleas for peace evolving into advocacy. You saved us. Emily, she said one sunset. Hand on mine, no bruises. Just warmth. Jack's first in-person visit hit like thunder. At the ranch, under wide skies, he approached.
Hat and hunt.
Can we talk? Alone in the barn, sight of revelation, he broke. I was weak, lashing out.
No excuse.
Sobs racked him. A giant felled. Emotions crested. Pity overwhelming residual anger. Forgiveness a balm on my soul. I hurt you worst, he choked. Forgive me? I paused, heart aching with depth, motives clear, his own abused childhood. Cycles unbroken till now. Working on it, I echoed, extending a hand. Not absolution, but start. The lesson settled light as Montana mist. Truth exposes darkness, but compassion rebuilds. No perfect endings, just human ones, flawed, resilient. We gathered that night. Sparklers lit not for exits, but unity. Flames danced, symbols of sparks that ignite change. As embers faded, hope glowed brighter. My journey, from victim to victor, avenger to healer, taught, in the West's vastness. Families endure like the land, weathering storms to thrive.